Welcome to solverfy.
Do this two-column style. We've got a statement and a reason. So we are given that C is the midpoint. I'm going to abbreviate a bit. C is midpoint of BD and AE given. Now, what does that mean? If C is the midpoint of BD, then BC is congruent to DC. Also, if BD is the midpoint, excuse me, C is the midpoint of AE, then AC is congruent to CE. I would say by the definition of midpoint. We also have, from the picture, angle ACB is congruent to angle ECD. I can fit it in there. ACB congruent to angle ECD. That is, I'm just going to say vertical angles are congruent. You might have a theorem you have to cite, the vertical angle congruence theorem, or it might be numbered. I'm not sure, but it has to do with the fact that they're vertical. Which then, these triangles would be congruent. So that should be our last statement. And that is because we have two congruent sides, pairs of corresponding congruent sides, and the included angles. That is called side angle side congruence. I'm not sure if you meant to ask 13, but I might as well for you here. Give you another go at it. I'm just going to say this is what should be given. Always start with what is given to you. Now we interpret what's given. We know AB is congruent to CB already, so there's nothing to interpret, but we do know that BD is a median of AC. By definition of a median, that means AD, a median goes from a vertex to the midpoint of an opposite, side. So I would say AD is congruent to DC. You might need an extra step by first saying it depends on your textbook's definition of median, because you might need to say D is a midpoint of AC. And maybe that's what I'll do for you here. Just that extra step just to be careful. By the definition of median, that D is the midpoint of AC. This might not be necessary, but then you would then say AD is congruent to DC. This would be by definition of midpoint. Again, might all be irrelevant. You could just say these are congruent by the definition of median, possibly. Either way, we need to bring in the fact that BD is congruent to itself because it's a shared side. That's called the reflexive property, reflexive. And now these triangles are congruent by side, side, side congruence. That's all sides congruent. Hope that helped you out. Good luck.